Can you give us parang your thoughts about brands? Na parang, is it just, syempre, I know it's not just fonts and not just, ano,
Yes.
and I want to know the juicy truth.
I see an influential artist as somebody who is having fun creating, having fun giving value to his or her audience, and also this joy.
You know what? I attribute all of my branding sa'yo. Kasi, ano talaga eh, we have always been the creative, sabi ko nga kanina, na, alam mo ba, dati, do you remember, tinatanong kita, how do I not sound salesy?
Yeah,
Kasi,
this was when
between
you were starting
yeah.
pa lang, Lana.
Oo.
And pumunta ka sa bahay, we had a shoot.
Oo.
And then you told me about your plans.
Mhm.
And you wanted it to be relatable, but still creative
Yeah.
and still present it in a different way. It's not just a skincare line. And we exchanged notes that time. Kasi during Viva La Manica days, when you were selling vintage clothes, we knew the direction if you wanted, oh, this is for, may mga sinusulat pa nga tayo na ini-envision natin na the kind of girl that we want to cater to.
Uplifting Filipinas.
Yes,
yung
yes.
ano natin nun.
Yeah, that's one thing that I also notice is so common about us is our endeavors elevate and honor the Filipina. Parang we've always had this, kahit sa Viva La Manica, I think subconsciously, it wasn't even like, this is what we want.
Well-defined.
We just did it kasi subconsciously, we just wanted to raise the value of the Filipino woman. And we, even if it's just through clothing, we wanted na, you know, they dress up well, they present themselves well. And for me, looking back, na-realize ko na, I think the reason why we did that, because globally, Filipinas didn't used to get much recognition in the areas of beauty, of business, of creativity,
Fashion,
of
yeah.
fashion. So tayo, that we sort of wanted to change
We
that.
dreamed
And
of,
now
of
it's
that
happening.
time.
Yeah, now it's happening.
Ah.
I love that you are collaborating with Eileen, and parang she really represents the Filipino beauty, the morena, and she also elevates those women with beautiful darker skin. So it's so fun. And ako rin naman in my own endeavor, that's still what I do, like with my blog and with my art. It's always like I always have a female subject. I always use like brown colored girls.
Yeah,
Kasi,
that's also what I love about your
Yeah.
art. Sobrang relatable na parang I see myself in your art.
yeah,
Ganon.
and that's really the direction I wanted. For once, I wanted the Filipina to be, usually it's just, you know, the Caucasian beauty that you see. The Filipina, and minsan nga, they also use other colors, but like the Filipina was underrepresented for a while. So now, I love seeing na, more and more Filipinas are being represented in these important areas of like creative industries.
Totoo. So now, na yun nga, we are in the advent of social media na halos lahat ng mga tao is all about numbers, all about vanity metrics. Money is in your analytics. I want to look back on your Instagram post way back 2019.
Yes.
Na you said there's a difference between an influential artist versus an Instagram artist. So, ang ganda nun, sobrang swak na swak yun sa, parang it was really, I was shocked to the bone, yung dun sa contents ng carousel na yun. So,
I created that because I noticed na there are creators who create for the likes and the follows. So sabi mo nga yung vanity metrics. And I think that it's important to make that distinction because art has a specific purpose. It's meant to, you do art for the joy of it. You don't do it for anything else. Well, at least that's what I think it's supposed to be. It should be like a pouring, an expression, it should come out of you. But what's happening now is that art and design, and actually anything like branding, it's become like a game and a race wherein people need to have this much followers and this much likes before they feel worthy. When you're already worthy, and dapat manggagaling na sa yung worthiness, and out of that worthiness, yung expression. So the difference is, yun nga, influential artist is somebody who creates for the joy of it. So I see an influential artist as somebody who is having fun creating, having fun giving value to his or her audience, and also this joy, this happiness in creating is what makes this artist inspiring and influential and interesting. And it's what effortlessly draws people
Totoo.
to him or her. Whereas Instagram artist, it's not so much about giving value,
Yeah.
it's about taking. So one
Parang
is
gusto ko
like
lang ng
giving.
likes or
Yeah,
ganun,
parang
yeah.
like taking like likes and the follows. So influential artist is more of giving.
It's more of a heart. Parang mas
Yes.
mas maraming heart yung when you are an influential artist,
And
right?
it's good that you mentioned heart, because I was about to say that the Instagram artist creates for the eyeballs. So it's just all aesthetic.
Look
and
at
parang,
me, ganun.
Yeah, perfection. But the influential artist creates for the heart. So they create to connect to people's hearts. Because that's the purpose of art naman talaga at the end of the day, na parang to connect. It's an empathy machine. You make art so that we understand other people's standpoints in life and other people's perspectives, where they're coming from.
Totoo.
So,
I love that. Okay, so now let's go back to talking about branding. Kasi nga people tell me na ganda ng Lana, ganda ng Mink, but I've always attributed it to that conversation a while ago na how do I not sound so salesy? And how do I translate my brand? How do I translate my products into something relatable and something that has value and gives value to people? And that for me is branding. We branded it so well, and you helped me with that. I clearly remember you launched this course about branding.
Yes,
And then
yes.
I subscribed. I attended that class. And you give us your thoughts about brands. I want to know the juicy truth in branding.
So the way I see branding is, it's kind of like food. Kasi diba, especially today, we use content marketing as a way to promote our stuff. So when you're creating content, or at least this is true for me in my experience, I always think about my content or my products or my brand as food. And when I'm presenting it to people, it should have value. Kasi food has nutrition. It has to have value. Otherwise, it will be just like junk. It lacks substance. So what I do is, with my own brand, is I create content that is both delectable to the eyes, kasi that's still important. Presentation is still important. But at the same time, the viewer must take away something from it. Of course, that is subjective. Some people might resonate, some people may not resonate with what you post, but at least, like, to me, I know this will help someone, and I know na if this certain experience or certain insight has helped me, I'm gonna serve it.
Right.
So that's how I see branding. In order for you to be able to successfully build a brand, and this is actually medyo philosophical siya, pero you really have to know yourself.
Totoo.
I mean, if you're planning to start a brand and you don't know who you are, don't even start, because that's something that's so important. Kasi you have to ask yourself, ano ba talaga yung story ko? Ano ba talaga yung kaya ko gawin for other people? Ano ba talaga yung uniqueness ko? What makes me kakaiba?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, and this is something that I realized as I grew older, like in my craft and in life, is that at the end of the day, I realized that your uniqueness makes up most of your value.
Amen.
Because it's true because I realized as I grew up in my craft and in life, now what makes me valuable as a person or worthy is because of my uniqueness. Hindi naman hindi naman tayo usually, people don't fall in love with us or people don't resonate with our content because we're the same with other people.
Right.
It's usually our uniqueness that, diba, kaya nga minsan may mga YouTubers that we really, really parang feel bonded.
Yes.
Yeah, and we feel bonded to them kahit hindi natin sila kilala. And it's because of the realness that they exude.
Exactly.
And that's why I say to really know yourself. Sino ka ba talaga? What are your talents? Yung talagang kaya mo gawin for other people. Is it like, are you good at public speaking? Are you good at graphic design? Are you good at accounting? Those things. And you have to believe that there's always a creative way to express that.
Totoo.
So even if you're just like, let's say you're somebody who's in the field of engineering or more on the sciences, the great thing about social media is that you can present your ideas in a creative way.
Yeah, you can still give value to
yeah,
other
you can
people.
still give value and you can still present your thoughts and your product or your brand in such a delightful way, because now we have the tools to create visuals that are really eye-catching.
True.
So we almost have no excuse to really mindfully create our brands because of these technologies.
I love that. I love it especially when you said that you always have to have value, and yung metaphor of food.
Yes.
Na kasi if you only just create brands na parang meh, you're just selling to everyone, it will be a bland type of ulam na okay.
Exactly.
But then if you create food na ang ganda sa mata, ang colorful, and it has nutritional value.
Yes.
And it's nutritious. Mas quality yung masaserve mo sa ibang tao. So as a person, as a brand, ano ba yung mga pwede mong mabigay sa tao na may value?
There are many things. So for example, and I do this in my own brand. So I sell artworks and my digital templates, my prints. So by itself, it's just a product. The way to give value to your audience is to sort of help them understand what your product means. So for example, or how they can be creative with your product. So with my prints, for example, I don't just sell them the prints. I share with them the best printing shops in the city. So I'm sort of aiding them, helping them to like make the most of the things that I'm offering for them.
One of my favorite products that you have is that you offered this wine sticker for Father's Day. And then instead of parang papalitan mo yung wine label with the photo of your dad.
Yes.
And it was a brilliant idea na parang who would have thought na you can do that, everything customized. And yun din siguro yung sinasabi mo na do everything with value and do everything like the mundane things. You can create things, alam mo yun, parang you can prettify mundane things.
Yes, that's pretty much what my brand is now. That's what my brand stands for. Because I started with yun nga yung Viva La Manica. We wanted like fashion, expressing yourself. But now my brand has become this parang persona online that helps you appreciate life and rest and just
the beauty of life.
Yes, the beauty of life and indulge in the small things. Kasi our world has become so fast-paced that we often forget about these things, like as simple as like having time with your pets or surprising your loved ones with like yung wine label, or just like time with nature and just observing architecture. So those still moments, na just being here and now in the present. That's the reason, that is my main inspiration for the things that I create now. I want to create things that, tools for connection siya.
Yes.
So like the wine sticker, na parang pag binigay mo to your loved one, parang meron talagang delight. Parang they will feel like seen and appreciated as a person. So it's a connection. It's a tool for connection.
Right. And speaking of connections, I also love how you created your community. It's so solid. I think it's also one of the common things about us, because for us, with our brands, with Lana, Ming, Tala, Ala, and all of our brands, we have communities. And I think ganda din talaga nung sayo eh. Kasi, yun nga, we always talk about the vanity metrics. We both do not have so much followers, like hundreds of thousands of followers, but our followers are super loyal.
Yes.
And they buy from us.
Yes.
Diba?
I look at it as parang they're super bonded.
Totoo.
We feel so bonded to them. And I think it's because yun nga, we provide authenticity and value. And it's not just about the likes. We really care about like
What we post.
Yeah, exactly. And parang whenever I post, I really think about like what can I give to my audience today? Like parang it's not really about like what will make me feel validated or di ba? So parang it's more of anong pwede ko mabigay sa kanilang value today. Like, parang so I'm much more a mindful content creator now when I come from that question.
Totoo. Na parang it's not just about us anymore.
Yeah.
Na parang we are not putting out things out there for validation. We are putting things out there to help out other people, to give value to other people. And I think that's also the reason why people resonate with what we create, what we put out there, di ba?
Yeah. And kaya tayo, di ba, we need more downtimes. And people often misunderstand that. But really, we need that kasi we are creators. And as a creator, you're also a giver. You're a giver of value.
Totoo.
So you have to constantly self-care, self-love, write on your journal, and things like
we
that.
are such nerds for anything self-care.
And the beauty about, you know, my audience now is that they're like friends talaga. Parang I can ask them like deep existential questions, like with my readers specifically, because like I talk about art and philosophy, so I can ask them questions like, what matters in life? Like, what matters? Like, why are we here? What's the purpose of like being here?
Totoo.
So, if you are able to have a safe space to ask those questions, then you must be doing something right. Kasi, di ba, parang like, as a person, we have so much like thoughts, di ba? And so much feelings and emotions. And if you don't have, like, if your space, if your community, pwede ngang you have millions of followers, pero
it's so toxic.
Yeah, it's so toxic, and you get depressed. You can't express yourself to these people.
You can't even read comments.
Yeah, you can't
diba?
read, and you can't be vulnerable with them.
Yun,
diba? Parang,
exactly.
So, diba, what is the use of these like hundreds of thousands of followers if hindi mo naman ma-express yung vulnerable self mo? So, what I love about us is that we both nurture a community na, although it is very small, it's solid. Yes.
I love I love our community so much. I think it's one of the things that I'm really grateful for.
Yes.
Talaga.
Me too so much. Like, I know social media, I have a love-hate relationship with it, but it makes the trouble worth it kapag nababasa ko yung like shares nila with me when they respond to like my thoughts.
Totoo.
Even if it's, you know, like, even if it's so profound sometimes, the fact that they're responding means that, oh, I must be giving value to them.
And you are.
Thank you. Because like, sometimes when you're the one doing it, parang minsan like, tama ba itong ginagawa ko? Am I really providing value? So, we need, like, the validation is at least parang coming from your readers. It's not just like shallow validation na parang likes lang.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for saying yes for this project.
Yes, I'm so happy and excited for Lana.
And where can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Sofia.Cope, C-O-P-E. And you can also visit my website. It's sofiacope.co. That's sofiacope.co.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a Patreon. So basically in my Patreon, I share ideas and inspiration for artists or aspiring artists and creatives. I share my process, how I make things, and I even give tutorials, and it's only around like less than 200 pesos a month.
Yes. And it's super duper sulit.
Yeah, I hope you join and
Thanks
follow
again.
me.
Thank you again so much. I love you. I missed you so much. And
Me
thanks
too.
so much everyone for watching. Have a great day ahead.
Bye.
Bye.